Commanders head coach Dan Quinn now giving a live update ahead of training camp this morning. Let's take you out to Ashburn and listen in.
Members and the limited partners that are with him, a lot of gratitude for how strong he's shown that support for us. I'm looking forward to see the updates in the building, but yesterday's news, that's a really big deal. So why don't we get rocking today?
All right, Dan, the other day, Terry requested a trade. I'm just curious your reaction to that.
Yeah, he let me know that was happening too, so I definitely appreciated that. Look, I think it's easy. We love Terry. I'm really glad he's here. Hopefully he's out practicing soon. And we also understand there's the business side of this things that Adam and his side and Terry and his reps are working it through. So I just kind of, stay in that space. We recognize both are happening, but like I said, I'm really glad he's here. I love coaching him, and but the business side, that's kind of where it's at. And it's not, somebody asked me, is it a distraction? It is not. The players today, they're more aware of contracts and things maybe than they used to be, and they recognize that business part happens as well. So for the team, we're just rocking and going and throwing some great practices. For Terry and the trade request, like, man, that's part of normal business that it's happening around the NFL. It's normal. We understand it, and we just throw our very best practices out on the field.
Well, you kind of ruined my second question.
That's what I tried to do.
But I'll stick with some of it anyway. But
see how that is an audible, John. Let's see you adjust, man.
Do you address?
I so got him. This never happens, you guys. This is awesome.
It's early. Do you address it with the players though? And do you ever worry that this becomes something bigger that you have to deal with?
No need. There's just no need to do that and compare and talk and compare another man's money. That's just not it. And so, like I said, around the NFL, I think there's more awareness maybe than there's ever been of teammates and contract and business. And so we don't address it. And this group is tight. And honestly, they're really focused on what they have to do in that time, knowing that behind the scenes, they know Adam and the guys are also working really hard at it too.
Dan, curious about last year when you guys decided to rotate the tackles with Brandon and Cornelius. How did you guys decide to sort of get to that? And did that experience kind of help you as you're looking this year with Josh and Andrew possibly?
We just want to make competition as the central theme then. And if we do that at quarterback last year with Jaden and Marcus, and at tackle with Brandon and Luke, and we're doing it again right now with Andrew and Josh, it's part of who we are. And I never wanted a player to ever feel anything other than that. If you get this gig, you earned it, and you had to fight for it. And that's the world of a competitor. And so it's designed, some by day, some by period. And it takes a while to get there. You have to go through some more evaluations, but it's important.
Do you think that rotation could be in play this year, or it's just too early? You'll just have to see how Josh progress. Yeah,
definitely too early to say. Some of Brandon's injury was a factor in that during training camp last year, Ben, so we started that way, but too early to call.
Just an early impression of Connerly and how these rookies are getting into everything.
Yeah, it's a good class, JP. They have maturity. Their work ethic is strong. I had told the coaches I was impressed by the amount of work they did in the spring rookie camp, getting the guys ready. It doesn't show itself at mini camp. They're still swimming. There's still too much information, but it does show now. It does show when they're able to now compete and fully express who they are, how they play. And so they're off to a good start, man. I've been impressed by Lane. There's a number of guys that have jumped out to me so far. And as we're getting kind of into this and into some practices and preseason games, it's really cool, man, to see them really, stand and fight for it. And they put themselves in a good position to do that.
And with Mariota not really doing much team drills lately, we've seen a lot of Sam Hartman. Have you decided on a plan for New England, next Friday night, and when will you come up with that?
Yeah, Marcus is back full at it today, and so that will adjust. But that is the silver lining that happens where Josh and Sam got more reps. They're certainly in their own battle, as we're looking at the third quarterback spot. So often we say this starting spot or this starting spot, but there's this type of competition all over, and there's a long way to go for that, but we're going to be creative in how we get the playing time for them, and some of that will include game time, and we'll look forward to that, but we've not finalized any of that until we kind of get ready for our trip. We're kind of in this space. We'll take a day, and then we'll begin the prep for New England and how much practice versus playing along those lines.
I did. I know you said this is part of the NFL. Players have
All right, of course, you had heard head coach Dan Quinn addressing the media there just about 15 minutes until training camp gets underway today, talking about some of the ins and outs of practice as they're preparing for New England. Of course, the latest on the trade request from Terry McLaurin, the still ongoing contract negotiations, and how this is impacting the team right now. So, of course, another day of training camp gets underway in just about 15 minutes. Our John Duran is out in Ashburn for us this morning. It is also Kids Day. We'll get a live report from him coming up in just a few minutes.